Hi everyone and welcome to another recipe video. And today, to celebrate International Cheesecake Day on Friday, I am making this super easy 5-ingredient skyr cake. No baking involved. Now skyr is from Iceland and it's been part of Icelandic food culture for centuries. And even though it is eaten quite like a yoghurt and is sometimes marketed as a yoghurt type thing, it is not actually a yoghurt, it is technically a cheese, and that's because of the way it's cultured. But its flavour and texture is more like a very thick yoghurt. So a skyr cake can be considered a cheesecake. And I'm just spicing this one up with some tasty Lotus Biscoff biscuits. These ones that I'm using are the sandwich type, but you can use the ordinary type. Okay, let's get started. First we're going to prepare a 7-inch springform pan. You can also use an 8-inch one if you prefer. It will just create a more shallow cake. And we're just going to lightly brush a touch of vegetable oil all around the sides. This is optional, but it will make your life that little bit more easier for taking the cake out of the pan later. I'm just going to place some grease-proof baking paper at the bottom. And now we're going to make the biscuit base, which is the most satisfying part in my opinion. So I've grabbed a great big sandwich bag here, and what I'm going to do is open it up nice and wide, and we're going to place our biscuits right inside. And I'm going to use 150 grams of Lotus biscuits. Like I said, these are the sandwich ones, but you can also use the normal ones. You'll just need to add a little bit more butter if you're using the normal ones, because these ones obviously have a bit of sticky stuff inside, which helps bind them together later. So this is about 1.5 packets of the sandwich ones. We're just going to seal the bag back up, and then we're going to take a rolling pin and give them all a good bash. This is a great recipe, it's really low tech, you don't need any special equipment. And you can see the crumbs are trying to stick together now because all of that cream filling has all mushed up inside, but that's okay. That will actually help make the base, and we are going to add a bit of butter in a minute to help glue it all together as well. So we're going to tip this all out into a bowl. And I actually like to wash the bag out afterwards because waste not, want not, and also I'm cheap. And now we're adding 50 grams of melted unsalted butter. If you're using the regular Lotus biscuits without the filling, make this 60 grams because you'll need that extra moisture. And what will happen is, in the fridge, that butter will solidify, which makes a nice tough base. So we're just making sure we combine that all together nice and evenly. And finally we're going to pack it at the bottom of our prepared tin. So just scoop all of that lovely stuff in, and my god, the smell is so good. That rich toasted butter and those spicy biscuits, yum. It took a lot of willpower for me not to eat any. Now we're just going to set this aside and make the skyr topping. So we've got 300 grams of skyr and 100 grams of caster sugar, and we're just going to give this a light stir until it's well combined and to help the sugar dissolve a little. And next we're going to grab 300 milliliters of double cream, and we're going to whisk this too. And you can use an electric whisk for this, but I actually prefer to use a hand whisk because I just want to whisk it to soft peaks, and I find it easier to stop just at the right time. When you're using a manual balloon whisk like this, it's just easier to stop just at the right moment and not even beat it. So once that's done, we're going to gently fold the skyr sugar mixture in, and then the magic happens. Now it will start to magically thicken, and I'm not entirely sure what does it. It may be an acid or an enzyme in the skyr that causes the cream to thicken. The same thing happens when you add lemon juice to cream to make lemon posset, it also thickens in the same way. But when you put this in the fridge, it will become sliceable, so it's thick enough to slice, which is what we're going to do now. So first we're going to pour this all over our lovely biscuit base. And before you do this, you can actually flavour the skyr topping however you like. I've actually done a yuzu one and a matcha one before, so you can check out my blog for that. And now we're going to give the whole thing a few good taps on the counter just to knock out those air bubbles inside and to help flatten out and even the surface. Now pop it in the fridge to chill overnight. The least amount of time you can get away with it in the fridge is 4 hours, which I've done here because I was very short on time for this recipe, but I would recommend you leave it for the full 8 hours overnight, just to give it a chance to fully solidify the most it possibly can. But this is what it looks like after 4 hours, and it's still a bit soft, but it's just about there. As you can see, it's holding its shape. I would have liked it to be a bit firmer, but like I said, short on time. But 4 hours, you could get away with it, as you can see. And this is the cake pretty much done, but I am going to make a little topping for it, so let's do that now. In another bowl, I'm going to use 180 milliliters of double cream. This is actually 300 milliliters, but I wanted to use it for coffee later, so I just whipped up a bit more than I needed, but all you need is 180. And like before, we're going to whisk it up until it forms soft peaks, just like this. This is just about perfect. And we're going to use that to pipe on top of the cake. Now you can put the cream on in any old fashion. I opted to put it in a piping bag with a star tip at the end, just because I was feeling a little bit fancy, but you could even use a plain old sandwich bag and cut a hole in the corner and just pipe it on that way. And to make my life a little bit easier, what I've done is I folded this bag over a glass, which you'll see in a minute, just so it can stand upright. That means I can use both my hands to scoop the cream inside the bag. It's a neat trick. Or if you have more coordination than I have, then you can always do the old bag folded over one hand trick and use the other hand to scoop the cream in. So all that's left to do now is pipe the cream on. And if you remember at the beginning, we only used 1.5 bags for the base, so we're going to use the other half to decorate the top. And there were an even 8 biscuits left, which is perfect. And we are done. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full recipe on my blog tashcakes.com and find me on Instagram as tashcakestastes. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you liked it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular. And I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, be nice, and have a good week.